Aging in America is different for many, and feelings toward aging vary widely in the United States. Being in a minority subgroup of elders has special considerations and sometimes circumstances that influence the feelings and viewpoints a person has about aging. According to Fredrickson, Goldson, and Kim, more than 2 million Americans are elders in the LGBT community. According to Williams and Fredrickson, Goldson, just as their heterosexual married or coupled counterparts, LGBT individuals have better life satisfaction when they are married or in a domestic partnership. It reduces depression by about 20%. However, having lived through discrimination, violence, and even laws forbidding their relationships, many have internalized oppression that has in turn created conditions that made it difficult to maintain their health. This has led to many in the LGBT elders having poor physical and mental health when compared to their heterosexual counterparts. Many LGBT elders have lived their lives either completely closeted or even worse, silenced. When they have lived an out life, they often are forced back into the closet when faced with the need for long-term care. An anonymous 73-year-old male explained in LGBT Older Adults in Long-Term Care Stories from the Field, "Within the next 2 weeks, I'll be going into assisted living. Due to my financial situation, I will have to share a room with another man. The thought of going back into a closet is making me ill. Frankly, I'm afraid of telling anyone that I'm gay." But are his fears valid? Why would he have to go back into the closet? According to our textbook, 21% of LGBT elders have not revealed their sexual orientation to their primary care physicians. While there are many nursing facilities recognizing that inclusive services allowing them to be with their same-sex partners are needed, many nursing homes simply deny that LGBT residents exist within their facilities. Further, the unique needs of transgender elders cannot be met without full disclosure of their needs, thus revealing that they are a member of the LGBT community. With a concerning lack of gerontologists in the United States, the likelihood of a transgender elder being able to have access to one that also has training in transgender issues is very slim. Because LGBT individuals are not as likely to have children to lean on for support, they tend to create their own families of friends and supportive loved ones. Without the support of children, the burden of care, both physically and financially, is difficult to meet. Many of these elders are cared for by members of the social group family that they created themselves throughout their lives. If they have a spouse or long-term domestic partner, the burden of care typically falls on them. This creates increased stress and strain on the relationship. When a member of the created family dies, it can often result in members being excluded from funeral services by biological family members of the deceased. This exclusion, sometimes by biological family that was not even supportive of the deceased person's sexual orientation, can result in disenfranchised grief for those friends and lovers left behind after death. As people age, the cumulative impact of loss builds, and without others to mourn and reminisce with, the burden felt can increase throughout the. What then can a social worker do to empower LGBT elders and support them throughout the elders' years? Fredrickson, Goldson et al. Explains key competencies for social workers to maintain. Those are critically analyze personal and professional attitudes towards sexual orientation, gender identity, and age, and understand and articulate the way that larger social and cultural contexts have negatively impacted the LGBT older adults as a historically disadvantaged population. Social workers have to be mindful of how they themselves have biases toward those in the LGBT community, as well as any views held toward age. Accepting that our society only views heterosexuality as normal, and then confronting those issues at the micro, meso, and helps macro to encourage our LGBT elders in our care to trust and seek help when needed. On the macro level, social workers need to bring these issues out of the closet in our activism and influence, being vocal about the hardships our clients face will help to end the stigma and isolation that they feel. Of the alternative perspectives held, and be slow to speak, and always question whether we are helping or hurting our clients. All people have the right to self-determination, but some may need more support moving forward in their choices for themselves.